If you don't meditate, you are leaving your potential, some of your potential, out of the game. They could be in the game. They could be making you better. They could be assisting you in understanding the complexity of your internal self, which in turn helps you align yourself in the most efficient, graceful, perfect knockout, perfect dunk, perfect throw way, perfect mathematical proof, the perfect sentence. Those are all things that we naturally celebrate in human achievement. That's why we give Pulitzers. That's why we give Nobel Prizes. That's why we award people MVPs. We incentivize excellence. And that's one thing that makes our world so potentially powerful in helping us form societies, complete societies that are enlightened, that are capable of having permanent forms of agriculture, permanent forms of horticulture. Something is going to have to lay fallow. We have to acknowledge that it's not going to be a municipality that's 100% using all of its controlled earth for productive purposes. Mowing it is innately a waste of energy. Fertilizing it with inorganic methods is a last resort. That's how we address famines. We use monocultures, we use those methods to deal with big needs in starvation. The human animal takes so long to develop into being like an enlightened adult. That only happens, I think, around 35, 40 at the earliest. There's a reason why the president must be older than 35. You just need a certain amount of life experiences, which is a certain amount of breaths. How do you breathe and how much do you breathe in a given year, in a given unit of time? How are you using your body? How are you finding these ways to move such that the very act of moving is reinforcing the desired alignment? So, like with my feet, when don't be afraid to make mistakes. Don't ever. You're just right away, Also, put your hands on top of each other. That's how you start there. Find that resistance pressure and just start from there. Which is why these can be great, because you can get that without having to be as flexible in your hamstrings and the rest of your body. You don't have to go to the ground. And you have this necessity for kind of a dynamic balance, like riding a bicycle, like being on a skateboard, like surfing. If I could efficiently make this kind of a cylinder, I would. If I had a lathe that I could run it on so that you would have that 360 degree continuum of movement, I'd have a version that's like that. I need to have a production facility This is a solution to the unemployment issues. Why not have a production facility? Why not have a class in the educative experience and the scholastic experience that prepares young people to not be afraid of saws, not be afraid of sharp objects? They are a part of the world, they are tools, and we all need to have basic knowledge of them, basic respect. And that starts with the posture, the seriousness of its power, and the responsibility that I have to use it as safely for this purpose that is transcendent. Because they know if they're building uThrones, if they're gardening, they know that that is part of helping somebody else somewhere go through the same experience of awareness and personal liberation from knowledge of self. The truth shall set you free. Absolutely. The truth shall inspire you to find these eternal truths because your body has an eternal design. Does that make sense? We are eternal beings. The energy that we're using right now is new because we're getting new solar energy. So, like our economy has this mixture of energy sources, some are from nuclear, some from fossil fuels, some wind, there is this contribution. We have the technology. The genius of the atomic theory is contained therein. So this is a cultural plan. This is a cultural plan. It's a new world vision for how we can solve these problems that our descendants, that we have to deal with the consequences that are unavoidable, but can be related in terms of profit and loss. Those are two powerful elements to allocating resources, allocating those electrons, whether they be from the food that we consume or the energy that we get and the energy that goes in to getting more out. The calmer we are, the more efficient we are with the proximity to the source of nutrients. We should have businesses that we're supporting in these niche industries where there's human talent, where there's human interest, where there's already the application of human energy. Let's incentivize it. I'm thinking about Norman, Oklahoma now. It's a unique town. There's an L-shaped lake called Lake Thunderbird. And then there's half of the city, which is a lot of rural ranch homes to one half. And then the other, 10 miles, maybe it's like 20 by 10, I'm not sure, something like that. Is kind of suburban areas. Some of the first, where the university is, where, the first high school was. It was high. It was at one of the highest points in the city. And that was one thing that surveyors did. The ability to use glass to increase and to find these points of similarity, these points of reference. That was a fundamental skill that impacted survival. We survive differently now. We have different problems. So much so that we can avoid them all and skip bail. We can avoid them all and obsess about the new handbag, or obsess about the score of the game, and miss the purpose of them, miss the skill with which it was built, miss the skill and the practice and the discipline, the dietary restrictions that go into performing, even if it's just for yourself. And that's what the uThrones are promoting, is the internal allocation of your own resources. How do you allocate the energy, the electrons that your body breaks open? The digestive system is taking those nutrients and breaking those bonds. And that's powering the brain's electrical signals. That's powering our cells' metabolism. Eventually it gets to those cells. Something's got to get there. What do you think your circulatory system is doing? What do you think your lymphatic system is doing? That's evacuating all those toxins. That's aggregating them. Oh. You see how perfect the body can line up? Do this, mimic me, imitate me. Trace your body. And then do the opposite while tracing. Make a fist. Feel like you'll feel, ooh, like that was a little bit too far. You're trying to take your spinal system from your sacrum to the top of the crown of your head and keep it aligned. That's the criticality. And the uThrones are primarily based on that. Why did I have such a sensitivity to it? Because I was so tall and because I had neglected my posture for so long. There were athletes who had spinal injuries that were famous. Bill Gates was the alpha of the financial world, the wealth creation world. Michael Jordan was the ultimate alpha athletically, physically. Both of them had a computer or just depressed from fame, depressed, exhausted by fame. You're deactivating all of those muscles. You didn't even know that they were one of the reasons why your body works so perfectly. If you did, you would probably give up what you're doing and teach PE classes, because you would appreciate the power that they possess for aligning the body and healing it, healing the body. Any moment in which you're reversing a self-handicap is a moment of increased efficiency for your physiological functionality. The way that your body functions, if it's a little bit more efficient. What's up, girl? If it's a little bit more efficient, that's better. If you can get the same result with less exertion, a more even, a more communistic, a more egalitarian effort. Teamwork makes the dream work. Your body is a team of muscles and ligaments and bones. How can you make that team work best? Everyone has a responsibility. Everybody has a job that's very specifically defined. There's precision in that. And when everyone